I think one of the things that we should understand is that if you do not know who you are, you're limited. Your perspective is limited. Your journey is limited. You do not. But if you can understand who you are, that is your superpower. So one of the things that has helped me, especially right now in my own business, is that I make decisions. I didn't used to make decisions. Before I actually knew really how my energy is coming in, I will ask for people, 20 people on one simple decision. I think for me, this is what I would say. This episode's what we are going to do is that we are just going to bring clarity. People who are confused, they have many ideas, they have many things. They're just wondering, why do I get frustrated, or what can I do about this and stuff? Please listen to us because we are going to give you clarity.
Welcome to season 1, the first episode in 2026 in Redempta Kanja YouTube channel. In this season, we will dive into various topics exploring self-awareness, purpose, identity, growth, and self-leadership. This season brings together honest conversations from spiritual, psychological, and practical perspectives to help people understand themselves deeply and live intentionally. In today's first episode, as we lay the foundation to self-awareness, we are joined by none other than the beautiful, amazing, bubbly, constant creator, Redempta Kanja.
Interesting. I didn't know I was bubbly. But it's interesting. So my name is Redempta Kanja. I'm going to be your host, and these episodes will be happening on Redempta Kanja YouTube channel. And in this first season, as mentioned, we are going to explore self-awareness and just let you know what is self-awareness, what is not self-awareness, and most importantly, how can self-awareness bring in or add to your personal and professional growth. So yes, I am a coach, I am a trainer, I am an editor, and in this particular conversations episodes, we are just going to have conversations that are going to help us live intentionally, find clarity about our life, grow, and just, do amazing things with our life from a point of self-awareness.
So, Redempta, before we get into today's conversation, please help us understand what this season is about and why these conversations matter.
Okay, so this season we are going to talk about self-awareness because in my view and coming to understand, 95% of people don't really don't have self-awareness. They think they have self-awareness, but they don't. Only 10 to 15% are self-aware. And we are going to be looking at what is self-awareness, and we are going to bring in different perspectives from a spiritual, psychological, practical, and scientific view of all these things to just be able to help us to live our lives intentionally, lead ourselves, have that self-leadership, and most importantly, have sustainable growth in our life each and every day. So self-awareness, really, when we talk about it, is the ability to really understand your emotions, to understand your values, to understand how you're showing up to people. If I was to explain this to a 6-year-old, I would ask them, how are you feeling? What do you think caused that? What is the mood? How has your mood affected everyone around you? That is just a simple way. But when I elevate it maybe to talk to leaders and people who are a bit higher, I would say is that, you have to understand your values. What are the values you live by every day? Can you write them down? Are you honest about them? What is your personality? Personality is energy. Energy cannot be hidden. Energy can be converted into many other things, but it cannot be hidden. So this energy, how do you understand yourself? How do you see yourself? And how do people perceive you because of the energy that you emit to your environment? What are your strengths? What are things that we can bank on you to get done because this is you? This is home. This is where you live. And most importantly, what are your weaknesses? And you understanding that helps you to know, are you going to do the work that you're doing, or you are going to outsource that function so that you also don't find yourself having an overload of the things that you do not have the capability and the capacity and the skills to do. understanding that. And most importantly, not just so that you can outsource yourself, but so you can work towards stretching yourself to convert some of those, to diversify into that area of weakness, so that you can add more skills and more knowledge on that particular area. Yeah. So this is very important. Yes.
I hear you. I hear your heart about the topic. And let me ask you, we're in 2026. What made you feel like this is the right time to have these conversations? Why now?
I think it is important, especially being the beginning of the year, really. I know January is already gone. It's just because that I would love, my area of expertise is to see people execute what they have in on their plate. Like, what are your goals? What you want to be at the end of everything? So a year for me, I feel like we can do so much more. And if we can be self-aware, and then our personal development, our professional growth is going to be exponential, because you understand from where are you coming from. You know what is the baseline of what I'm working on and what is my potential. So you understanding your potential will help you execute the goals that you have for the year. So you don't live aimlessly. You don't live on autopilot. I really love when you're intentional about what you're doing and you are focused on that thing. And you cannot focus if you do not know where you're coming from. If you do not know who you are, you do not know your values, you do not know your strength, you do not know your weakness. You will be living hoping that miracles happen, and there is no magic wand in this part of life. You will need to put in the work, you will need to work, you will need to put in effort, and you will need to be strategic about your life. So this conversation is going to be amazing. And also, as I bring in the aspects of mental health, amazing guests with different views on mental health, on our healthcare, on other things, just practical, psychological, and scientific, you will be able to see why you do the things the way you do them, and how can you improve, or how can you leverage on what you have as a person. Yeah.
Amazing. I can clearly see your passion about self-awareness.
Yes.
Please help us define it. Assuming you're speaking to a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old, help us define self-awareness in the simplest of terms. And tell us, what do you think are some of the misconceptions that people have about self-awareness?
Oh, amazing. So self-awareness in the simplest term is just being in touch, just knowing who you are, really. Who am I? You know, what is the concept of self? And when we talk about the concept of self, I think we have like 3 views that I would like to bring in. We have the concept of self-esteem and self-worth. You know, how do you see yourself? Do you like, value, accept yourself? Or you are at this place where you're seeking validation from outside? You know, self-awareness is mostly revolves around our inner world. You know, like, I love myself. Like today, there is nothing that can put me down. Why? I know who I am. And I love how I look. I love how I show up. I love my energy. That is the thing. So when you know and you like yourself, you have accepted yourself, you know that this is me, and you know where you're going. That conversation is different from someone who is having a negative, because now when it comes to self-esteem, it is either you have a positive self-esteem or a negative self-esteem. Positive self-esteem is healthy. It gives you the confidence, the audacity. And by this confidence is a state of emotion. It is always also pegged on so many other things. How prepared are you for whatever you're doing? Do you know your onions? Do you know what you're talking about? Do you have authority? Can you dissect whatever you're doing in and out? That gives you confidence. But you can find that your confidence fluctuates when you come to a place where you're not prepared. So that's why I say confidence is a state of emotion. Anyway, let me come back to our self-awareness. So you just understanding that, you know, this is me. I like the way my face looks like. I like my body. I like what that already gives you a positive image or self-esteem. And then we also have the other concept which we talk about, self-worth. As in, where do you find your self-worth? Is it inherent or is it from people? So that is also important. And some of those things are coming from our childhood, the traumas that we've gone through, the beliefs that we have lived our life believing, the values that we have. Those are the things that define your self-worth. Are you a materialistic person, or you're okay with or without the materials you have? Those things define our self-worth. And then we have the ideal concept. This is the person we want to become. This is the dreams, the dreams, the goals that we have. And, the person you would want to see in the near future as yourself. That is also something that we should consider when we are talking about self-image. And let me tell you, it is not static. It's very dynamic, because the dreams I had as a young person is different from my teenagehood and is different from adulthood. So we keep shifting that image. So when you have a positive self-image, a positive self-esteem, you realize that even your dreams, your ideal self, is very encouraging. It pulls you. It gives you the pull to keep working, to keep going, to keep inventing, to keep doing amazing things with your life. So self-awareness is one of the most important things. And it cannot be underestimated, because if you can understand yourself, know where you are, and work towards where you're going, then you are unstoppable. Yeah.
Thank you for that insight. In the context of the day-to-day, how you show up every single day, how does self-awareness look like daily? How does it look like on the day-to-day, in the workplace, at home? How does it look like?
I love that question, because I actually forgot to answer what self-awareness is not, and I'll answer it as I answer that question. The thing is that I know someone who is self-aware by the decisions they make. There are people you ask a question and they will never give you a decision. They are not about to make that decision because they don't have confidence in themselves. They want to go by what is pleasing to the majority. I'll go with what majority says. Okay, I'll do, for the Kenyans, nitafanya vile wengine watafanya, But the reality is that when you know who you are decisive about your decisions. You know what you want, how you want it, when you want it, and you do not gamble about that. That looks like self-awareness on a daily day. It also shows in your demeanor, some people are about to enter, like they are sitting on a desk, but if they meet people, depending on the value they attach to those people, they are about to enter down the table or something. So it shows up in your demeanor. It shows up in how you shake hands with people. Someone who has a healthy self-image and they are confident in themselves, they will shake your hand. They will keep eye contact. But someone who doesn't want to keep eye contact, they don't want to shake your hand, that also speaks to their negative self-image. It shows up in compliments, especially ladies. And I have said this over and over. When you tell someone you look nice, and they're like, it's not them you are talking to, and I was addressing you like you look nice. They just don't take compliments. They downplay compliments. You will hear someone saying, oh, in the way I have, worn this top for the last how many years, and my hair, I was to go to the salon, and they will give you a million reasons. You immediately know their self-image is negative, because someone who is confident, the way they even respond, they're like, oh, thank you. I know. They are already aware because of their self-image. That is how, some small things, even the way you just, self-awareness, even the way you just, do your work. When you are self-aware, there is clarity in what you're doing. But sometimes you just find someone, even if you ask them, what are you doing? You're like, I don't know. I'm just bored, those things. Why is that happening? It's the negative self-image. So let me tell you what self-awareness is not. And I started by saying 95% of people think they know who they are, but they are not. Self-awareness is not overthinking. You see that question I'm asking you, then you want to overthink 20 years. That is not self-awareness. Self-awareness is not self-criticism. How am I looking? Others are looking better than me. That is not self-awareness. Self-judgment is not self-awareness. No, it is not self-awareness. But you showing up differently and taking ownership, taking responsibility of how you're showing up, what you're doing, that gives you a better image about yourself. And I also want to say it's not self-absorption, that you can't be told a different perspective. My perspective is the only perspective. My friend, your perspective is not the only perspective. There are many perspectives out there. You can listen to them, consider, and see what works really well. Sometimes we think our mother is the only person who knows how to cook the best meal until you try your neighbors. Yeah. So be open-minded, flexibility. Someone who is flexible, just ready to explore different things. That is someone who is self-aware. And that is how the simplest way I can actually explain that particular point. Yeah. And also just to add on it is that many times when it comes to self-awareness, people see things from their perspective. Many times we see things from our perspective. We see things as we are, not as they are. That is just number one. Even when you're looking at people, many times we tend to see people from their point of weakness before we can see the amazingness that they carry, the aura they carry. As you relate with people and then you're like, oh, so you're an amazing person. Oh, interesting. I love that. You start finding common grounds, common places that you relate to. But sometimes you might tend to judge people because you see people as you are. And let me bring it home. Someone who is introverted might not appreciate someone who is coming in all glamorous, with energy, with this all smiling. They're like, this energy is too much for me. Relax, calm down, slow down. They actually want to calm you to bring you down to their level. And then someone who is very extroverted, someone coming in and you're just walking slowly. It's like you do not have energy. It's like you're lost in your own world. They're just wondering, that is bad vibes, Energy feed on energy and stuff. Now, the thing is, there is none of these people who is wrong. It's just understanding this is how I show up and this is how this person is showing up. Should I go back? If I want to relate to them, I want to understand them. Should I go down there and relate them and carry my own energy? Or should I maintain my own energy to bring life to this room? That is one of the things that I can say. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you see in people that ignore the area of self-awareness and actually try to grow without it?
I think one of the things that we should understand is that if you do not know who you are, you're limited. Your perspective is limited. Your journey is limited. You do not. But if you can understand who you are, that is your superpower. Truly, understanding who you are is your superpower, because then you know the things we have just talked about. Your strength is, this is my area. You're not about to kill yourself with things that you do not have the capability or the capacity or the skills to do. So I feel like if you understand yourself, you make the journey easy. Like me, I know the things I can do. And I just know if I was to do this thing, I'll waste my whole day. So I outsource them, or I look for someone who can do them better. So it makes my work focused. And also, I think when you are not self-aware, it also means that you don't know where you're going. You don't have purpose. You don't have clarity. So anything is okay. So you don't even see the wrong thing about it. You'll just be going in circle. But when you have purpose, you have clarity of what you're doing. It means that being self-aware is an advantage to you, because you will move with direction. You will move very fast, and you'll be more focused. Yeah. So I think you cannot dare ignore self-awareness, because that is what tells you, how do I improve? Personal development is about improving your life. It's about taking the next step. Professional growth is about you identifying what are the opportunities that are ahead of me. And you cannot identify opportunities if you can't sit down and say, okay, this is my capacity. I think I'm ready for the next level. I think I'm ready for that leadership opportunity. I'm ready for this. So self-awareness is what will determine whether you take new opportunities, you do other things, you give yourself permission to try many things as they come. Yeah. So I think you cannot underestimate the power of self-awareness. Yeah.
Great. As I listen to you speak, your passion for this topic is almost tangible. I can feel it. I can feel your energy about this topic. And I'd like to ask you, why is this topic so close to your heart?
I think this topic is close to my heart because the moment, I think I lived my life in ignorance, or maybe I lived my life doing a bit of the things that I know, but I didn't really understand them. But when I came to understand who I am, when I came to understand my energy, how I should literally sit down and meditate and reflect and vision about my life, I came to realize that I have so much potential in me. So I feel like self-awareness really unraveled the potential in me. And it actually gave me the audacity, the places I would go and I need to shrink myself to fit in. I realized I don't have to, because people are different. Everyone is unique. And therefore, I don't have to shrink myself to suit into other spaces, because if I am showing up as an extroverted person and I'm in the midst of maybe introverted people, I don't have to keep quiet. No, I will entertain them. I'll bring the aura to the room by making sure that we actually get to communicate. So for me, I think self-awareness really unraveled me. I knew what I am capable of, and I was proud of what I'm capable of. And that has just put me on another level, because I go for what I think I can do. I go for it wholeheartedly. And the things I know I am not capable, I work on them. I keep working on those skills to improve them. And if I can't, I get to outsource them. So I am not trying to go back in circles. So I think self-awareness is one of the things that really helped me. And especially just unlocking my potential. For me, that is what self-awareness did. And I came to realize, I am not too much. I am just fine. And anyone who thinks I am too much, I am thinking, okay, it's fine, but I'll bring you to my level. And if we can't come there, I'll come back to where you are, and then we can communicate. For me, that was really powerful. Yep.
Great. So let's talk about the results. Mm-hmm. The results of you making this powerful discovery about self-awareness. Mm-hmm. What doors has this discovery of self-awareness opened for you, both personally and professionally?
So one of the things that has helped me, especially right now in my own business, is that I make decisions. I didn't used to make decisions. Before I actually knew really how my energy is coming in, I will ask for 20 people on one simple decision. And then, of course, we have energy suckers. So people will tell you, no, this idea is not good. What about us? And then you will end up abandoning that decision. But when I understood who I am, what I am doing, self-awareness, I realized, you know what? I will never please people 100%. There will be people who will resonate. So self-awareness helped me understand that I have my tribe, people who will resonate with my message, people who will understand my message. So I decided to leave the other outliers outside and focus with that particular message. So it means that my decision-making process is easy. What do I want to achieve? If I'm running a course, like I run so many courses, what is the end goal of my course? What transformation do I want to see? So I go ahead and communicate that with clarity, precision, and I move forward. So that helped me to make decisions very fast. Number 2, my relationships improved. Today, I have different friends. I relate with them differently. And when they have trouble, they might have the same problem. I don't give them the same solution. There is another one, I'll tell them, snap out of that nonsense. There is another one I'll go cry with. There is another one I will hold the hand. Why? They are different. Their emotions show up differently. Their energies are different. Their personalities are different. So me understanding that helped me relate with my friends very well. I keep peace with all of them, and I know how to even handle many other things. Another thing is that I really had a clarity of purpose. When you are self-aware, you know, this is my journey. It is my personal responsibility. I know I cannot do it alone. I need a community, yes, because we don't grow in isolation. We grow in a community, fine. But it is my responsibility to steward my purpose ahead. This is my vision. And therefore, I have to be at the steering wheel. So that self-awareness helped me to know that I might not keep going to people to ask them about their opinion, because this is my vision. So that also really helped me come up very clearly. My mental wellness. I stopped pleasing everyone. I stopped that pleasing everyone. No, I took myself from the people I had given myself to, and I decided, no, let me have myself. Let me have my peace. So my mental wellness has really improved because I do things according to what I'm getting. It is okay. It doesn't mean that I don't seek opinions. It doesn't mean that I don't seek advice, but then I know which advice to take. I filter. I know those that have been projected to me because of their personal fears, or those that have been projected to me because they are afraid that I will soar high, that I will leave them. So those things have helped me to actually just have a sober state of mental health or mental wellness, and I love it. And most importantly for me, self-awareness has kept me consistent and disciplined, because I know when I'm drifting. I know when I'm procrastinating. I know when I'm just, chilling and lazing. And if I have work to do, I call myself to order. So I remain consistent, I remain disciplined, and then I go ahead and execute. So I don't have those repeated circles of just having to do the same thing over and over, and you're not moving forward. I know when I am burning out because of overworking. I know that I should take a break. I'll just take a break. I'll relax and then come back to this thing that I'm doing with an open eye. I avoided a lot of conflict in identity that, I don't have to please you. I don't have to be this particular person for me to please you. I was confident in who I am. So I communicate and I just make sure that I pass the message as it's supposed to be. So that has really come in. And of course, the things that I thought this was, sometimes we have unfulfilled potential. For me, I feel like, yes, I'm not at the epitome of my potential, but I am making progress. Why? I know who I am. I have that self-awareness, and constantly I'm doing that personal development. I do coaching. I sit under people. I go for therapy, literally, so that I am able to be in a sober state of mind to carry out my purpose with clarity and precision. That is what I can say. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Amazing. We've mentioned that we have 12 episodes of this season on self-awareness. What promise would you give to your listeners? Like, why should we listen to you for the 12 episodes?
I think for me, this is what I would say. These episodes, what we are going to do is that we are just going to bring clarity. People who are confused, they have many ideas, they have many things. They're just wondering, why do I get frustrated, or what can I do about this and stuff? Please listen to us, because we are going to give you clarity. And then number 2, the other thing that we are going to do is that we are going to be intentional. We are going to call you out. This is going to be a sacred space. This is going to be a safe space. You will find yourself going back to our episodes alone, crying, sitting down, doing the exercises that we'll be sharing here and there. It's just going to unravel you in a different dimension. And most importantly, it's going to cause you to live intentionally and to execute, to just stop doing everything and being everywhere and focus your energy where it matters. You're going to discover your purpose if you've not found your purpose. And if you've found your purpose, but you've never had the audacity and energy to follow through, these episodes are going to give you the audacity and make you just align to your purpose, because alignment is important. And most importantly, you're going to receive an urgency in your life to just say, you know what? I want my life to count for anything and for something. And that is what is going to happen. So you will have an urgency to fulfill your purpose. We are going to share roadmaps. We're just going to, we don't have a lot of noise here. It's just going to be executed, really giving you clarity in what you want. And also those guys who are confused, they are going to be challenged to actually follow through our conversations and just find clarity about their life. That confusion we are talking about, it will end, because they will come to know who they are and how they can actually project themselves to accomplish whatever they feel like God has called them to accomplish in life. Yes.
Awesome. You're a coach, and I understand that coaching is not a one-day thing. It's a journey that you walk with someone for quite some time. So the question I would ask you is, how can people connect with you, and how do they continue this journey? And where are you found? Where do they find Coach Redempta?
Amazing. Number 1, please, it's my channel, YouTube. Here, right where you're listening to this conversation, and also I think on all social medias. On YouTube is Redempta Kanja. On TikTok is Redempta Kanja. On LinkedIn, Redempta Kanja. If you come to Facebook, I actually have 2 pages. One is After One Kind Club. After One Kind is one word, English words. After One Kind Club. We will have the links below. And most importantly, also just checking out, because I run a lot of programs, both for people I'm coaching. Just come to my space, DM me, in the comment section, just give your number or ask me to call you back. I can be able to do that. And also, when it comes to training organizations, we can have this conversation at a personal level and just help you move to the next level. Editing, I do a lot of editing books. I help actually authors write and then edit their books. If you have a manuscript, you can reach out to me and I'll be glad to help you. Yeah.
So to our last thing, thank you so much. You've been an amazing guest stroke host to this show. I'm looking forward personally to learn more. I know we have a lot laid out, not just for me, but for our viewers. So thank you so much for joining us on this.
So guys, thank you. Even as we come to the close, I'm looking forward to us having this self-awareness. Self-awareness is one of the most difficult things to do, because sitting with yourself, confronting yourself, past and present, and most importantly also just evaluating where are you and where you're going, that can be a very challenging thing. And many times what we do is we keep running away, we get busy, we get chatty, we keep going, just not to confront our lives. But I want to say this, we are going to do this in a very reflective way, where we sit down and realize that, you know what, our lives matter and we need to actually address some of these things so that they don't keep haunting us. But you can have the freedom, the audacity to move forward. So stay tuned on this channel, and we will be bringing you different perspective, different opinions, different whatever, just that you can learn and you can be more self-aware, to live intentionally, to grow and reach the goals that you have in your life. See you next episode. Thank you so much.